My name is Ansley Cain, and I plan to increase your knowledge about the Georgia Institute of Technology. On the left is a picture of Georgia Tech in 1888 when it was first built, covering 4 acres in downtown Atlanta. On the right is a picture of Georgia Tech today, covering 400 acres in downtown Atlanta. Today we will have the opportunity to learn more about the Georgia Institute of Technology by first talking about the history, then considering the football team, and lastly by taking a look at the university today. Let's start by discussing when and how the Georgia Institute of Technology began. According to the Georgia Tech alumni website, it was funded in 1885 because Georgia needed to be more modernized after Reconstruction, and they also needed a technical college. In 1888, the first class began with 100 students and 5 professors. At this time, there were only a few programs focusing on mechanical engineering. The name changed in 1984 to what it is today, the Georgia Institute of Technology. Women first began coming in 1951, and the first 3 women graduated in 1956. The first one is Diane Mitchell and Shirley Clement. On-campus housing began in 1896, and 10 years later, the first library was built on campus. Now that we've talked about the history of the college, we can explore Georgia Tech's football team as well. The first football team was created in 1892, and as you can see, there are only a few people in there. The first full-time coach, John Heisman, was in 1904. The Bobby Dodd Stadium, according to the New Georgia Encyclopedia, was created in 1913, and that still stands today. In 1893, Georgia Tech traveled to Athens and beat UGA for the first time, starting the big rivalry between UGA and Georgia Tech. Also, according to the New Georgia Encyclopedia, they now have 4 championships, a big stadium that still remains today, 16 former players, and 3 former coaches in the College Football Hall of Fame. After learning a little bit about the football team, we can finish our discussion by examining the current Georgia Institute of Technology. According to the U.S. News, it is one of the best technology schools in the nation. There are over 100 degree programs, and it's also one of the largest colleges in Georgia, with 400 acres in downtown Atlanta and about 27,000 students. Now that we've finished looking at Georgia Tech today, the history, and the football team, we can talk about what we've learned in the past few minutes. After discussing the history, the football team, and the current University of Georgia Tech, we learned all the important facts about the college. The images we looked at the beginning showed early Georgia Tech and the current Institute of Georgia Tech. We can now see the growth and improvements made by this college throughout time. To close, here's a picture of my older brother who plays at Georgia Tech, and there's a picture of us after a game. This is why I hold Georgia Tech so close to my heart. That was 3 minutes.